Is this an area that you really want a strong vendor as a partner to help you with these conversions? I mean, do you want to be sitting there slogging through this yourself as an IT department, or you want to just say, have someone trusted and say, okay, we just acquired them, deal with it, figure it
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely want to have a partner that's dealt with like various EHRs, all different types of, ERP systems, whatever it might be, because then they've seen it, right? And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can rely on them as, hey, they just did this at hospital X, 2 months ago. So you just rely on them to do the mapping and making sure that connections work back to the systems for viewing and things like that. But it's interesting kind of where the market is going because of what's happening with the 21st Century Cures Act and just where healthcare is going. A lot of these vendors, and maybe Abhishek could talk more about this, are actually going into the data analytics side of the world, right? And because they're capturing all this data from multiple systems, and like I said, and originally it was for retention and retrieval for patient care, but now it can be used for research. It can be used for a variety of different reasons, right? And that requires more than just what an archival solution will do. That requires, tools and databases that are beyond what's in the normal archiving. So I'm hearing a lot of discussions. Some vendors are already moving in that direction. Some are thinking about it. So it's kind of an interesting aspect of what's happening.
Abhishek, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So that's very, very accurate, Chuck. That what we're seeing is that 5 years back, 7 years back, even a couple of years back, the archival was essentially non-actionable data, which some vendor is extracting data from your systems and locking it up somewhere, and the only value to the health system is if I can is essentially retention. So you're complying with legal medical requirements, and in some cases a little bit of, if I can use the expression, CYA, that I don't know what's in there and when this might become valuable in the down the road, and let's just keep it somewhere. Now what we're seeing is that the same effort one can leverage in at least 3 different ways. So you talked about the data warehouse. Obviously we're in a world where information is valued, and data is liquid gold. So a lot of organizations want to use this archive data and put it to use in all kinds of analytics. The second thing is conversion. So you obviously, at least if it's clinical data, you want to extract some of it and put it in your new Epic system, for instance. And typically we see that those are run as separate efforts and disjointed projects. And what we're, at least for one of our customers, and we're seeing more and more of this, that all 3 of those could be run off of a single project, and the organization derives a lot more value at a lot lower cost. So certainly that's the direction the industry is going. And as you mentioned, Chuck, with the Cures Act, now all of a sudden there's going to be requirements to make this data available as FHIR resources to patients or the applications that they sort of delegate. And the archival vendors are going to have to step up and support FHIR APIs, or the onus is going to be on the health system to figure out some way of, again, extracting legacy data, assuming that you've not put all of that data in your Epic or Cerner or what have you. Then you're going to have to go back and find some way of again unlocking that data and delivering it as FHIR resources.